What if the key to achieving your long-term goals lies not in what you do, but in what you choose not to do? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. These words, spoken centuries ago, still hold profound relevance today, especially when it comes to mastering delayed gratification. In a world that constantly demands instant results and quick fixes, the ability to wait, to resist, and to stay focused on the bigger picture is a rare and powerful skill. This is where Stoicism offers timeless wisdom. By embracing principles like self-discipline, resilience, and cognitive detachment, we can build a blueprint for long-term success. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools that can transform how we approach challenges, setbacks, and even everyday decisions. So, how can we apply these ancient philosophies to modern life? Let's explore how the Stoic approach to delayed gratification can help us achieve what truly matters, even when the path is long and uncertain. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies a profound understanding of desire, one that challenges the way we often think about it today. In Stoicism, desire isn't about chasing endless wants or accumulating external validations. Instead, it's about cultivating a sense of inner freedom by recognizing what truly matters. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic thinkers, put it this way: "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This simple yet powerful idea invites us to question the very nature of our desires. Are they rooted in genuine need, or are they shaped by societal pressures, fleeting trends, or the fear of missing out? Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between natural desires, those that align with our well-being and purpose, and artificial ones, which are often fueled by external expectations. For instance, consider the urge to buy the latest gadget or trendy item. On the surface, it might feel like a desire for convenience or status, but beneath that lies something deeper, a craving for approval or a temporary escape from discomfort. By pausing to reflect on these impulses, we can begin to untangle what's truly essential from what's merely distracting. Let's take a practical example. Imagine walking into a store and seeing a shiny new product that promises to make your life easier. The Stoic approach wouldn't dismiss the item outright, but would encourage you to ask, "Do I need this, or do I just want it because of how it might make me look to others?" This kind of self-inquiry helps us align our actions with our values, rather than being swept away by external influences. It's not about denying ourselves joy or comfort, but about making deliberate choices that serve our long-term goals. So, what desires in your life are driven by external pressures rather than true need? Taking a moment to reflect on this can be a powerful step toward mastering delayed gratification. By understanding the Stoic view of desire, we can begin to reclaim control over our choices, focusing not on what the world tells us to want, but on what truly contributes to our growth and fulfillment. One of the most transformative tools Stoicism offers for mastering delayed gratification is the practice of cognitive detachment. Seneca, the renowned Stoic philosopher, once observed, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. How can craving more make someone poor? But when we dig deeper, we see that Seneca is pointing to a profound truth. Our sense of lack often comes not from what we don't have, but from our inability to detach from what we think we need. This is where cognitive detachment comes into play. It's not about rejecting pleasure or opportunity. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional grip of immediate rewards so we can stay aligned with our long-term goals. Think about it this way. Imagine you're working on an important project, but the constant ping of notifications from social media keeps pulling your attention away. Each time you check your phone, you're trading a small, fleeting reward, A like, a comment, a quick dopamine hit for the steady progress you could be making towards something far more meaningful. Cognitive detachment helps us recognize these moments for what they are, distractions that, while tempting, ultimately pull us away from what truly matters. By stepping back and observing these urges without immediately acting on them, we gain the clarity to choose more wisely. Let's bring this into a modern context. Say you're studying for an exam or working on a business proposal. The urge to scroll through your phone or binge watch a show might feel overwhelming in the moment. But what if, instead of giving in, you paused and reminded yourself of the bigger picture? What if you asked, will this choice bring me closer to my goal, or will it only satisfy a temporary craving? This shift in perspective is the essence of cognitive detachment. It's not about denying yourself enjoyment, but about recognizing when that enjoyment comes at the cost of your long-term vision. So, what distractions are holding you back from achieving your long-term goals? Take a moment to reflect on the habits or impulses that pull you away from what truly matters. Are they rooted in a need for instant validation, a fear of missing out, or simply a lack of focus? By practicing cognitive detachment, we can begin to untangle ourselves from these distractions, creating space to pursue what's genuinely important. This isn't about perfection or eliminating all temptations. It's about building the mental resilience to choose delayed gratification over immediate satisfaction, one decision at a time. Self-discipline is the backbone of Stoic philosophy, the quiet force that allows us to align our actions with our values, even when the path feels difficult. Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This isn't just a poetic observation, it's a reminder that our habits, choices, and the way we train our minds shape who we become over time. Self-discipline, then, isn't about punishment or deprivation. It's about cultivating the mental strength to choose what's meaningful over what's merely convenient. It's the difference between reacting to life's distractions and responding with intention. Let's bring this into a practical context. Imagine you've committed to a fitness routine, but after a long day, the couch and a bag of chips seem far more appealing than the gym. In that moment, self-discipline isn't just about willpower, it's about remembering why you started in the first place. Maybe it's to feel healthier, to build confidence, or to set an example for someone you care about. When you choose to lace up your shoes and head out the door, you're not just resisting a temptation, you're reinforcing a deeper commitment to your long-term well-being. That's the power of self-discipline. It turns fleeting intentions into lasting progress. But here's the thing, self-discipline isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Stoicism teaches us that progress is made through small, deliberate actions repeated over time. Every time you choose the harder but more meaningful path, you're strengthening your ability to delay gratification. It's like building a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And just like physical exercise, it's not always easy, but the rewards are worth the effort. So, where in your life could greater self-discipline lead to meaningful progress? Is it in your career, where staying focused on a big project could open new opportunities? Or perhaps in your relationships, where being present and patient could deepen your connections? Whatever it is, the key is to start small. Identify one area where you feel pulled toward short-term comfort and ask yourself, what would the disciplined version of me choose here? That simple question can be a powerful tool for shifting your perspective and taking action. Self-discipline, as the Stoics understood it, isn't about rigid control or denying yourself joy. It's about creating the freedom to live in alignment with your highest values. It's the practice of saying yes to what truly matters, even when it's hard, and no to what distracts or diminishes you. By embracing this mindset, we not only achieve our long-term goals but also cultivate a sense of inner peace and fulfillment along the way. What if the very discomforts we often avoid could become our greatest teachers? Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "Difficulties are things that show what men are." At first glance, this might sound like a call to endure suffering for its own sake, but it's far more profound than that. The Stoics believed that willingly embracing discomfort, what they called voluntary hardship, was a powerful way to build resilience and prepare ourselves for life's inevitable challenges. This practice isn't about punishing ourselves or seeking pain. It's about training our minds and bodies to handle adversity with grace, so we can stay focused on our long-term goals even when the going gets tough. Think about it this way: life doesn't always go according to plan. Unexpected setbacks, delays, and obstacles are part of the journey. By voluntarily stepping into discomfort, we're essentially rehearsing for those moments, building the mental and emotional strength to navigate them without losing sight of what truly matters. It's like an athlete who trains in harsh conditions to perform better during the game. The discomfort isn't the goal, it's the preparation. One practical example of this is fasting. In Stoic tradition, fasting wasn't just about abstaining from food. It was a way to practice self-control and remind oneself that temporary hunger wouldn't diminish their worth or happiness. Similarly, cold showers, a modern take on this ancient practice, force us to confront discomfort head-on, teaching us that we can endure and even thrive in less than ideal conditions. These small acts of voluntary discomfort might seem insignificant, but they accumulate over time, shaping our ability to delay gratification and stay committed to our long-term vision. So, how does this translate to everyday life? Let's say you're working on a project that requires intense focus, but you're tempted to procrastinate by scrolling through social media. Instead of giving in, you might choose to sit with the discomfort of boredom or restlessness, using it as an opportunity to strengthen your focus. Or perhaps you're saving for a big goal, like a down payment on a house, but you're tempted to splurge on something unnecessary. By resisting that impulse and embracing the temporary discomfort of saying no, you're not just saving money, you're reinforcing your ability to prioritize what truly matters. The beauty of voluntary discomfort is that it doesn't have to be dramatic or extreme. It could be as simple as waking up 10 minutes earlier to meditate, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or even having a difficult but necessary conversation you've been avoiding. Each time you choose to face discomfort willingly, you're building a kind of inner armor, one that helps you stay grounded and focused, even when external circumstances are challenging. So, what small discomforts could you embrace today to build resilience for tomorrow? Maybe it's turning off notifications for an hour to focus on deep work, or perhaps it's skipping that extra cup of coffee to test your self-control. Whatever it is, the key is to approach it with intention, seeing it not as a burden but as an opportunity to grow. By practicing voluntary discomfort, we don't just prepare ourselves for the storms of life, we learn to navigate them with confidence, knowing that we've already faced and overcome challenges of our own making. This is the Stoic way of building resilience, one small, deliberate act at a time. The Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control is one of the most practical tools for mastering delayed gratification, and it all starts with a simple yet profound truth: not everything is within our power to change. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, put it succinctly: some things are in our control and others are not. At first glance, this might seem like a reminder of life's limitations, but it's actually a call to focus our energy where it truly matters. By understanding what we can and cannot control, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration and channel our efforts into what truly moves us closer to our long-term goals. Let's break this down. Imagine you're working toward a major goal, like launching a business or completing a degree. Along the way, you'll encounter countless factors outside your control: market trends, the actions of others, even the weather. But what you can control is how you respond to these challenges. You can choose to manage your time effectively, to stay disciplined in your efforts, and to maintain a positive attitude even when things don't go as planned. This shift in focus from what you can't control to what you can is the essence of the Stoic dichotomy of control. It's not about ignoring external realities, it's about prioritizing your internal response to them. Consider this example. You're preparing for an important presentation, but the day before, your computer crashes. The crash itself is outside your control, but how you respond is entirely up to you. Do you panic and give up, or do you adapt, maybe by borrowing a laptop, adjusting your schedule, or even presenting without slides? The Stoic approach would encourage you to focus on the latter, the actions and attitudes within your power. By doing so, you not only overcome the immediate obstacle, but also strengthen your ability to stay committed to your goals, no matter what life throws your way. This principle is especially relevant when it comes to delayed gratification. External pressures like deadlines, opinions, or unexpected setbacks can easily derail us if we let them. But when we focus on what we can control, we create a sense of stability and purpose that keeps us on track. For instance, if you're saving for a long-term goal, you can't control economic fluctuations or rising costs, but you can control your spending habits, your budget, and your mindset. By directing your energy toward these areas, you build momentum and resilience even in the face of uncertainty. So, what aspects of your goals are within your control, and how can you focus on them? Take a moment to reflect on the areas where your efforts can make the most difference. Is it your daily habits, your mindset, or the way you prioritize your tasks? By identifying these points of influence, you can start to shift your focus away from what's beyond your reach and toward what truly drives progress. This isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending they don't exist. It's about empowering yourself to take meaningful action, even when the path isn't perfect. The dichotomy of control reminds us that while we can't control every outcome, we can always control how we show up. It's a liberating idea, one that transforms how we approach obstacles, setbacks, and even everyday decisions. By focusing on what's within our power, we not only stay committed to our long-term goals, but also cultivate a sense of inner peace and confidence that carries us forward, no matter what lies ahead. Patience is often misunderstood as mere waiting, but in Stoic philosophy, it's far more profound. It's an active, deliberate practice of endurance and clarity. Seneca, the Stoic sage, once observed, "Time heals what reason cannot." This isn't just a poetic reflection. It's a reminder that some challenges can't be rushed or reasoned away. Patience, in this sense, becomes a virtue that allows us to stay grounded and resolute, even when progress feels slow or obstacles seem insurmountable. It's the quiet strength that keeps us moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Take, for example, the journey of career advancement. You might be putting in long hours, mastering new skills, and taking on extra responsibilities, yet the promotion or recognition you're aiming for doesn't come as quickly as you'd hoped. In moments like these, it's easy to feel frustrated or even question whether your efforts are worth it. But this is where patience steps in, not as passive resignation, but as an active choice to trust the process. Patience reminds us that growth and success aren't linear. They're often the result of consistent effort over time, even when immediate rewards aren't visible. The Stoics believed that patience wasn't just about enduring delays. It was about maintaining focus on what truly mattered, regardless of external circumstances. It's the ability to see setbacks not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to refine our approach and deepen our resolve. When we embrace patience, we're not just waiting for the right moment, we're preparing ourselves to make the most of it when it arrives. Consider how this applies to other areas of life, like relationships or personal projects. Maybe you're working on a creative endeavor that hasn't yet gained traction, or perhaps you're navigating a challenging dynamic with someone close to you. Patience allows you to approach these situations with a sense of calm and perspective, recognizing that meaningful progress often takes time. It's not about ignoring the difficulties, but about refusing to let them derail your commitment to what really matters. So, how can cultivating patience help you achieve your most important goals? Think about the areas in your life where you're feeling the pressure to see immediate results. Are there ways you can shift your focus from the outcome to the process itself? By embracing patience, you're not just waiting for success, you're building the resilience and clarity needed to sustain it over the long term. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is a form of wisdom, a reminder that some of the most valuable achievements in life are worth the wait. The practice of mindfulness might seem like a modern concept, but its roots run deep in Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most revered figures, once wrote, "The present moment is all you have." At its core, this simple statement carries a profound truth. By anchoring ourselves in the here and now, we gain the clarity to make intentional choices rather than reacting impulsively to life's distractions. Mindfulness, in the Stoic sense, isn't about emptying the mind or achieving a state of bliss. It's about cultivating awareness so we can act with purpose, even in the face of temptation. Let's break this down. How often do we find ourselves making decisions on autopilot, driven by fleeting emotions or external pressures? Whether it's reaching for an unhealthy snack, scrolling endlessly on social media, or making an impulse purchase, these small, seemingly harmless choices can add up, pulling us further away from our long-term goals. Mindfulness interrupts this cycle by creating a space between stimulus and response. It's the pause that allows us to ask, is this action aligned with what I truly value? Consider this example. You're walking through a store and a shiny new gadget catches your eye. Your first instinct might be to buy it, spurred by the excitement of something new. But if you take a moment to practice mindfulness, you can step back and assess whether this purchase is truly necessary. Is it something that will enhance your life in a meaningful way, or is it simply a momentary thrill? This pause, this act of mindfulness, isn't about denying yourself enjoyment. It's about making sure your choices reflect your deeper priorities. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in resisting distractions that derail progress. Imagine you're working on a project that requires sustained focus, but your phone keeps buzzing with notifications. Without mindfulness, it's easy to get pulled into the endless loop of checking messages and updates. But by staying present, you can acknowledge the distraction without letting it control you. You might think, I see the notification, but right now my focus is on this task. This kind of awareness helps you stay on track, even when external pressures try to pull you away. So, how can mindfulness help you make more intentional choices in your own life? Take a moment to reflect on the areas where impulsive decisions might be holding you back. Is it in your spending habits, your eating routines, or perhaps the way you allocate your time? By practicing mindfulness, even in small ways, you can begin to recognize these patterns and make choices that align with your long-term vision. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Each mindful pause is a step toward greater self-awareness and a more deliberate way of living. In the end, mindfulness is more than just a tool for staying present. It's a way of reclaiming control over your actions and ultimately your life. By embracing this Stoic practice, you're not just avoiding impulsive decisions, you're building a foundation for lasting success, one thoughtful choice at a time. Imagine setting sail on a vast ocean without a destination in mind. No matter how strong the winds or how favorable the conditions, you'd be adrift, unsure of where you're headed or why. Seneca captured this idea perfectly when he said, If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. This simple yet profound metaphor speaks to the heart of Stoic philosophy, the importance of purpose. Without a clear sense of direction, even the most promising opportunities can feel meaningless. Purpose isn't just a lofty ideal, it's the compass that guides us through life's challenges, helping us prioritize what truly matters over fleeting distractions. In Stoicism, purpose is more than a vague aspiration. It's a deeply rooted understanding of what gives our lives meaning. It's the answer to the question, why am I doing this? When we have a strong sense of purpose, we're better equipped to resist short-term temptations and stay committed to our long-term goals. Think of it as a filter for decision-making. Every choice, whether big or small, can be weighed against this guiding principle. Does this action move me closer to my purpose, or does it pull me away? Let's take a practical example. Suppose you're pursuing a degree in a field you're passionate about, but the coursework is demanding, and the temptation to take shortcuts or give up altogether is strong. In moments like these, a clear sense of purpose becomes your anchor. It reminds you why you started this journey in the first place. Maybe it's to build a career that aligns with your values, to provide for your family, or to contribute to a cause you care about. This clarity helps you push through the challenges, even when the rewards feel distant. It's not just about enduring the hard work, it's about seeing it as an essential part of the larger picture. But purpose isn't just about grand ambitions or life-changing goals. It can also guide us in smaller, everyday decisions. For instance, if your purpose is to live a healthy and active life, you might choose to prepare a nutritious meal instead of ordering fast food, even when you're tired. Or if your purpose is to foster deeper connections with loved ones, you might set aside time for meaningful conversations, even when it's easier to scroll through your phone. These choices might seem small, but over time they accumulate, shaping the kind of life you want to lead. So, what is your ultimate purpose, and how does it guide your decisions? Take a moment to reflect on what truly matters to you. Is it to grow as a person, to contribute to your community, or to create something lasting? Whatever it is, clarity around your purpose can transform how you approach challenges and opportunities alike. It's not about having all the answers right now. It's about using your purpose as a North Star, helping you navigate through uncertainty and stay aligned with what's truly important. The Stoics understood that purpose isn't static, it evolves as we grow and learn. What mattered to you 5 years ago might not be the same as what matters today, and that's okay. The key is to keep asking yourself the hard questions. Why am I doing this? What am I working toward? Does this align with my values? These reflections keep your purpose alive and relevant, ensuring that your actions remain intentional and meaningful. By anchoring yourself in a clear sense of direction, you not only master delayed gratification, but also create a life that feels deeply fulfilling, one purposeful choice at a time. Gratitude might seem like a soft or sentimental concept, but in Stoic philosophy, it's a profound tool for cultivating inner strength and resilience. Epictetus, the Stoic teacher, once said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." At its core, this idea invites us to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already possess, a practice that not only fosters contentment, but also strengthens our ability to delay gratification. By appreciating what we have, we reduce the restless craving for more and create a sense of stability that helps us stay committed to our long-term goals. Think about it this way: when we're constantly fixated on what we don't have, whether it's a promotion, a new possession, or even a particular outcome, we're more likely to chase quick fixes or shortcuts. But gratitude interrupts this cycle by reminding us of the progress we've already made and the resources we already hold. For example, if you're working toward a fitness goal, instead of obsessing over the milestones you haven't reached yet, Gratitude encourages you to celebrate the small wins along the way, the extra mile you ran last week, the healthier meals you've been preparing, or the energy you feel after a good workout. This shift in perspective doesn't just make the journey more enjoyable, it also reinforces your motivation to keep going. Let's apply this to a broader context. Imagine you're saving for a major financial goal, like buying a home or starting a business. It's easy to feel frustrated by how far you still have to go, especially when faced with unexpected expenses or slow progress. But gratitude allows you to reframe the situation. Instead of focusing on the money you haven't saved yet, you can appreciate the steps you've already taken, the budget you've created, the spending habits you've adjusted, or the skills you've developed to manage your finances better. This sense of appreciation doesn't just reduce the urge to splurge on short-term pleasures, it also builds confidence in your ability to achieve your goal over time. So, how can gratitude help you stay focused on what truly matters? Take a moment to reflect on the aspects of your life that you're grateful for, whether it's the support of loved ones, the skills you've developed, or even the challenges that have shaped your resilience. By anchoring yourself in these sources of gratitude, you create a mental buffer against the distractions and temptations that pull you away from your long-term vision. Gratitude isn't about ignoring your aspirations, it's about grounding yourself in the present so you can move forward with clarity and purpose. In this way, gratitude becomes more than just a feel-good practice. It's a strategic tool for mastering delayed gratification. It reminds us that true fulfillment doesn't come from constantly chasing the next big thing, but from appreciating the journey itself. When we cultivate gratitude, we're not just building a habit of thankfulness, we're strengthening the mental and emotional foundation that allows us to pursue our goals with patience, resilience, and joy. So, what are you grateful for today that helps you stay focused on what truly matters? Taking a moment to answer this question might just be the key to staying grounded and motivated, even when the path ahead feels long and uncertain. Failure, it's a word that often carries a heavy weight, one that can feel like a dead end rather than a stepping stone. But what if failure isn't the enemy of progress, but one of its greatest teachers? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." At first glance, this might sound like a paradox. How can obstacles actually help us move forward? But when we look closer, we see that Stoicism offers a radically different perspective on failure, one that transforms it from a source of fear into a powerful tool for growth. In Stoic philosophy, failure isn't something to be avoided or feared. It's an inevitable part of the journey toward mastery. Think about it when we set ambitious goals, especially ones that require delayed gratification. We're bound to encounter setbacks along the way. These setbacks aren't signs that we're on the wrong path. They're opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. The Stoics believed that every obstacle, no matter how frustrating or painful, carries a lesson if we're willing to look for it. This mindset shift doesn't just make failure easier to handle, it makes it a vital part of the process. Consider this example. Imagine you've poured your heart into launching a business, but after months of effort, it fails to take off. In that moment, it's easy to feel defeated, to question your abilities, or even to give up entirely. But the Stoic approach would encourage you to ask a different set of questions. What can I learn from this experience? What worked and what didn't? How can I use this knowledge to improve my next attempt? By reframing failure as feedback, you turn a seemingly negative experience into a source of insight and resilience. This perspective isn't just theoretical, it's practical. Let's say you're working toward a long-term goal, like writing a book or mastering a new skill. Along the way, you'll likely face moments of doubt, rejection, or even outright failure. Maybe you'll receive critical feedback on a draft, or perhaps you struggle to grasp a complex concept. Instead of seeing these challenges as reasons to quit, the Stoic mindset invites you to see them as opportunities to refine your approach. Each failure becomes a stepping stone, a chance to adjust your strategy and come back stronger. So, how can you apply this Stoic approach to your own life? Think about a past failure that still weighs on you. What lessons can you draw from that experience? Maybe it taught you the importance of preparation, or perhaps it revealed a blind spot in your thinking. By reframing that failure as a source of wisdom, you not only free yourself from the burden of regret, but also strengthen your resolve to keep moving forward. Failure, in this sense, isn't the end of the road, it's a detour that can lead to even greater success. The beauty of the Stoic approach to failure is that it shifts our focus from outcomes to growth. It reminds us that the journey toward our goals isn't about avoiding mistakes, but about learning from them. Every setback, every misstep, every obstacle is an invitation to become more resilient, more adaptable, and more committed to what truly matters. By embracing failure as a teacher, we not only master delayed gratification, but also build the kind of inner strength that carries us through life's challenges with grace and determination. So, the next time you face a setback, ask yourself, what is this failure trying to teach me? The answer might just be the key to your next breakthrough. In a world that constantly bombards us with endless options, distractions, and desires, simplicity often feels like a forgotten art. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once observed, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. How can craving more make someone poor? But when we look closer, we see that Seneca is pointing to a profound truth. Our sense of lack often comes not from what we don't have, but from our inability to appreciate what we already possess. Simplicity, in this sense, isn't about living with less for its own sake. It's about creating space to focus on what truly matters, so we can resist the pull of unnecessary temptations and stay aligned with our long-term goals. Think about the clutter in your life, not just the physical clutter on your desk or in your closet, but the mental and emotional clutter that weighs you down. Every extra possession, every unnecessary commitment, every distraction we allow into our lives takes up space, not just in our environment, but in our minds. When we simplify, we're not just clearing out the excess, we're creating room for clarity, focus, and intentionality. It's like pruning a tree. By cutting away the dead branches, we allow the healthy ones to flourish. Consider this practical example. Imagine you're trying to focus on a creative project, but your desk is covered in papers. Your phone keeps buzzing with notifications, and your to-do list feels overwhelming. In that moment, the clutter isn't just a physical obstacle, it's a mental one. Each item, each distraction pulls your attention away from what you're trying to accomplish. But what if, instead of trying to power through the chaos, you took a step back and simplified? Maybe you clear your workspace, turn off your notifications, and prioritize just one task at a time. Suddenly, the mental fog lifts and you're able to focus with renewed clarity. This is the power of simplicity. It removes the barriers that stand between us and our goals, allowing us to move forward with purpose. Simplicity also plays a crucial role in resisting temptations. When we surround ourselves with fewer distractions, we're less likely to be pulled off course by fleeting desires. For instance, if you're trying to save money for a long-term goal, simplifying your spending habits like cutting back on impulse purchases or unsubscribing from promotional emails can make it easier to stay on track. It's not about depriving yourself, it's about creating an environment that supports your priorities. By removing unnecessary choices, you free up mental energy to focus on what truly matters. So, what areas of your life could benefit from greater simplicity? Is it your schedule, filled with commitments that leave you feeling drained? or perhaps your digital life where endless scrolling and notifications pull you away from meaningful work. Take a moment to reflect on where the clutter in your life might be holding you back. What can you let go of to create more space for your long-term goals? The Stoics understood that simplicity isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's a mindset. It's about recognizing that true wealth lies not in having more, but in wanting less. By embracing this principle, we not only reduce distractions and temptations, but also cultivate a deeper sense of contentment and focus. Simplicity, in this sense, becomes a form of liberation, a way to reclaim our time, energy, and attention so we can invest them in what truly matters. So, as you consider how to simplify your life, remember that it's not about sacrifice. It's about creating the freedom to pursue your most meaningful goals with clarity and intention. Let's take a moment to consider this. What if the key to staying focused on your long-term goals lies not in avoiding challenges, but in anticipating them? Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect." This idea lies at the heart of a powerful Stoic practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. At first glance, this might sound pessimistic, but in reality, it's a deeply practical tool for building resilience and staying committed to what truly matters. By imagining potential obstacles before they arise, we prepare ourselves to face them with clarity and composure, rather than being caught off guard and derailed. So, how does premeditatio malorum work? It's not about dwelling on the worst-case scenarios or feeding fear. Instead, it's about mentally rehearsing the challenges we might encounter, so we're better equipped to handle them when they arrive. Think of it like a fire drill. By practicing what to do in an emergency, you're not creating panic, you're building confidence and readiness. The Stoics believed that by confronting potential difficulties in our minds, we reduce their power to disrupt our progress. This practice doesn't just prepare us for setbacks, it also strengthens our ability to delay gratification, because we're less likely to be swayed by immediate distractions when we've already envisioned the bigger picture. Let's bring this into a modern context. Imagine you're saving for a long-term financial goal, like buying a home or starting a business. Along the way, you might face unexpected expenses, market downturns, or even personal setbacks that threaten your progress. If you've practiced premeditatio malorum, you've already considered these possibilities. You've asked yourself, what would I do if I lost my job? How would I adjust my budget if an emergency expense arose? By thinking through these scenarios ahead of time, you're not caught off guard when they happen. Instead, you have a plan in place, or at least a mindset that allows you to adapt and keep moving forward. This practice isn't just about financial goals either. It applies to any area of life where long-term commitment is required. For example, if you're working toward a fitness goal, you might anticipate the days when you're too tired to work out or when life gets busy and your routine is disrupted. By mentally preparing for these moments, you're less likely to abandon your goal entirely when they arise. You might think, okay, I'm exhausted today, so I'll do a shorter workout or focus on recovery. Tomorrow, I'll get back on track. This kind of foresight helps you stay consistent even when obstacles appear. So, what potential challenges could you prepare for to stay on track with your goals? Take a moment to reflect on the obstacles that might arise in your own journey. Are there external factors like changes in your environment or relationships that could test your resolve? Or perhaps internal challenges like self-doubt or procrastination that might creep in? By practicing premeditatio malorum, you're not just bracing for difficulty, you're building the mental resilience to navigate it with purpose and poise. In the end, this Stoic exercise isn't about fearing the future. It's about empowering yourself to face it with confidence. By anticipating challenges, you transform them from overwhelming obstacles into manageable steps on your path. It's a way of saying, I see what might come and I'm ready. And that readiness, more than anything, is what allows us to stay committed to our long-term goals, even when the road ahead is uncertain. So, what's one challenge you could prepare for today? Taking a moment to imagine it might just be the key to staying grounded and focused, no matter what lies ahead. The Stoics understood that while self-mastery is essential, it doesn't mean going it alone. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." At first glance, this might seem like a call to solitary discipline, but in reality, it's an invitation to cultivate self-mastery within the context of community. The Stoics believed that our relationships and the people we surround ourselves with play a crucial role in shaping our character and helping us stay committed to our long-term goals. After all, even the most disciplined among us can falter without support, guidance, or encouragement from others. Think about it this way. When we're striving towards something meaningful, whether it's a personal goal, a career milestone, or a creative project, the journey can feel isolating at times. Doubts creep in, motivation wanes, and distractions threaten to pull us off course. But when we're part of a community, be it a mentor, a friend, or a group of like-minded individuals, we gain more than just accountability. We gain perspective, inspiration, and the reminder that we're not alone in our struggles. Take, for example, the idea of joining a study group or finding an accountability partner. Imagine you're working on a challenging certification or learning a new skill. On your own, it's easy to procrastinate or lose focus, especially when the material feels overwhelming. But when you're part of a group, you're not just responsible to yourself, you're accountable to others. The shared commitment creates a sense of camaraderie and mutual support, making the process not only more manageable but also more enjoyable. It's like having a team of co-navigators on a long voyage. Together, you keep each other on course even when the waters get rough. But community isn't just about accountability, it's also about mentorship. The Stoics placed great value on learning from those who had walked the path before them. A mentor, whether formal or informal, can offer wisdom, guidance, and the kind of tough love that helps us stay grounded. They've likely faced similar challenges and can provide insights that save us time, energy, and frustration. Their presence reminds us that mastery isn't about perfection. It's about continuous growth, and having someone to guide us along the way can make all the difference. So, who in your life supports your long-term goals? Is it a friend who encourages you when you're feeling stuck? A colleague who shares your ambitions? Or perhaps a mentor who challenges you to aim higher? Take a moment to reflect on these connections and consider how you can strengthen them. Maybe it's scheduling regular check-ins, expressing gratitude for their support, or simply being more intentional about how you show up in those relationships. After all, meaningful connections are a two-way street. The more we invest in them, the more they enrich our journey. In the end, the Stoic emphasis on community reminds us that self-mastery isn't a solitary endeavor. It's about building a network of support that helps us stay disciplined, inspired, and resilient, even when the path feels long and uncertain. By surrounding ourselves with people who uplift and challenge us, we not only move closer to our goals, but also cultivate a sense of belonging that makes the journey itself more meaningful. So, as you reflect on your own path, ask yourself, how can you lean on the strength of your community to stay committed to what truly matters? The answer might just be the key to unlocking your next level of growth. Imagine carrying a mirror with you wherever you go, not to check your appearance, but to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and progress. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most influential figures, once wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good." This simple yet profound idea lies at the heart of a timeless Stoic practice, journaling. Far more than just a diary, journaling is a tool for self-reflection, a way to pause, evaluate, and realign with our deepest values and long-term goals. In a world that constantly pulls us in 1,000 directions, journaling offers a quiet space to reconnect with what truly matters. At its core, journaling is about creating a dialogue with yourself. It's a moment to step back from the noise of daily life and ask the hard questions. Am I living in alignment with my values? What progress have I made toward my goals? Where am I falling short, and what can I do differently? These reflections aren't meant to criticize or judge, but to illuminate. By putting our thoughts on paper, we gain clarity, uncover patterns, and identify areas for growth. It's like shining a light into the corners of our minds, revealing what's been hidden or overlooked. Take, for example, someone working toward a long-term goal, like running a marathon. Each day, they might journal about their training, how they felt during their run, what challenges they faced, and how they overcame them. Over time, these entries become a record of progress, a source of motivation on days when the goal feels out of reach. But journaling isn't just about tracking achievements, it's also about processing setbacks. Maybe they didn't hit their target pace or struggled with fatigue. Instead of dwelling on frustration, they can use their journal to reflect on what went wrong and how to adjust their approach. This kind of honest self-assessment turns obstacles into opportunities for growth. Journaling also helps us stay accountable to ourselves. When we write down our intentions, whether it's to save money, improve a skill, or strengthen a relationship, we're making a commitment. And when we revisit those entries, we're reminded of the promises we've made. It's a way of saying, this matters to me, and I'm going to keep showing up. Over time, this practice builds a sense of trust in our own ability to follow through, even when the path gets tough. So, how could journaling help you stay committed to your goals? Think about the areas of your life where you're striving for growth or facing challenges. What would it look like to carve out a few minutes each day to reflect on your progress, celebrate your wins, and learn from your setbacks? Even small, consistent entries can create a powerful ripple effect, helping you stay focused and intentional in your journey. In the end, journaling isn't just a Stoic practice, it's a lifeline to our inner selves. It's a way of saying, I'm here, I'm paying attention, and I'm committed to becoming the best version of myself. Whether you're navigating a major life transition or simply trying to stay on track with everyday goals, journaling offers a space to pause, reflect, and realign. So grab a notebook, find a quiet moment, and start the conversation with yourself. You might just discover that the answers you've been searching for have been within you all along. The Stoics had a unique way of looking at time, one that feels especially relevant in our fast-paced, distraction-filled world. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, put it bluntly, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." At first, this might sound like a sobering reminder of life's brevity, but there's a deeper truth here. Time is the one resource we can never get back. Unlike money, possessions, or even relationships, once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. The Stoics understood this, and they urged us to treat time not as an infinite commodity, but as the most precious gift we have. So, what does this mean for us today? In a world where distractions are just a click away, it's easy to fall into the trap of busyness without purpose. We fill our days with tasks, notifications, and endless scrolling, only to look back and wonder where the time went. The Stoic approach challenges us to break this cycle by asking a simple yet profound question: what is this moment for? When we start to see time as finite, we become more intentional about how we spend it. Suddenly, the choice to binge watch a show or scroll through social media isn't just about entertainment, it's about whether that choice aligns with our deeper goals. Let's take a practical example. Imagine you've set a goal to learn a new skill like coding or playing an instrument. It's easy to tell yourself, "I'll get to it when I have more time." But the Stoics would argue that this mindset overlooks the reality of time scarcity. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, they'd encourage you to carve out small, consistent blocks of time, even just 15 or 30 minutes a day, to work toward your goal. Over weeks and months, these small investments add up, turning what might feel like an insurmountable task into steady, meaningful progress. This isn't just about productivity, it's about aligning your time with your values. When you recognize that every moment is a finite resource, you start to prioritize what truly matters. Maybe it's spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing a passion project, or simply taking a walk to clear your mind. The key is to ask yourself, does this use of my time reflect what I care about most? If the answer is no, it's an opportunity to recalibrate and make more intentional choices. So, how are you currently using your time? Take a moment to reflect on your daily routines and habits. Are there moments where you feel like you're just going through the motions, or perhaps areas where you could be more purposeful? The Stoic view of time isn't about rigid schedules or squeezing every second for productivity. It's about creating a life that feels meaningful, one moment at a time. By valuing time as the finite resource it is, we not only stay focused on our long-term goals, but also cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment in the present. In the end, the Stoic emphasis on time reminds us that life isn't about how much time we have, but how we choose to use it. Every moment is an opportunity to grow, to connect, to create. When we approach time with this mindset, we stop seeing it as something to kill or waste and start seeing it as something to cherish. So, as you move through your day, ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my time? The answer might just change the way you live. Imagine waking up one morning and finding yourself exactly where you've always wanted to be: financially secure, physically healthy, emotionally resilient. How did you get there? The answer, as the Stoics would tell us, lies not in grand, sweeping gestures, but in the small, consistent habits you've built over time. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most influential teachers, put it this way: first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This simple yet profound statement reminds us that who we become is shaped by what we do, day in and day out. Habits, in this sense, are more than just routines. They're the building blocks of our character and the foundation of long-term success. The Stoics understood that habits are the bridge between intention and action. It's easy to dream about who we want to be or what we want to achieve, but without the daily practices to back it up, those dreams remain just that, dreams. Think of it this way: if you want to become more disciplined, you don't just wake up one day and decide to be disciplined. You build that discipline through small, repeated actions, like setting aside time each morning to plan your day, or committing to a daily workout even when you don't feel like it. Over time, these habits become second nature, transforming your intentions into reality. Take meditation, for example. It might seem like a small, even insignificant practice, just a few minutes of stillness each day. But over time, those minutes add up. They train your mind to stay focused, to resist distractions, and to approach challenges with calm and clarity. What starts as a simple habit becomes a powerful tool for mastering delayed gratification. The same principle applies to exercise, reading, or even journaling. Each habit, no matter how small, contributes to the larger goal of living a more intentional, purposeful life. But here's the thing: habits aren't just about what you do, they're also about what you don't do. The Stoics believed that every habit, good or bad, shapes your character. That's why they placed such a strong emphasis on intentional action. It's not enough to simply go through the motions. You have to be mindful of the habits you're cultivating. Are they moving you closer to your goals, or are they pulling you further away? So, what habits could you cultivate to support your long-term goals? Maybe it's dedicating a few minutes each day to learning a new skill or setting aside time to reflect on your progress. Perhaps it's something as simple as limiting screen time before bed to improve your sleep, or practicing gratitude to shift your mindset. Whatever it is, the key is to start small and stay consistent. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each habit you build is a step toward becoming the person you aspire to be. In the end, the Stoic approach to habits is a reminder that greatness isn't achieved overnight. It's the result of countless small, intentional actions repeated over time. By focusing on the habits that align with your values and goals, you're not just preparing for success, you're living it one day at a time. So, as you reflect on your own journey, ask yourself, what small, consistent actions could you take today to move closer to your long-term vision? The answer might just be the key to unlocking your full potential. Temptation, it's a word that often carries a sense of inevitability, as if giving in is just part of being human. But what if temptation isn't something we're powerless against? What if, instead of seeing it as an external force that controls us, we could see it as an opportunity to exercise our inner strength? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." These words remind us that while we can't always control what happens around us, we can control how we respond, especially when faced with the pull of temptation. The Stoic approach to temptation isn't about avoiding it altogether or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about confronting it head-on, recognizing it for what it is, and choosing a different path. Think of it like this: every time you resist a temptation, you're not just saying no to something, you're saying yes to something greater. You're reinforcing your commitment to your long-term goals, whether that's building a healthier lifestyle, advancing in your career, or nurturing meaningful relationships. Take procrastination, for example. It's a common temptation that can feel almost harmless in the moment. You tell yourself, "I'll just check my phone for a minute," or "I'll start tomorrow." But those small moments of delay add up, pulling you further away from what you're trying to achieve. The Stoic response isn't to berate yourself or feel guilty. It's to pause and ask, what is this moment for? Is this choice moving me closer to my goal, or is it just satisfying a temporary urge? By bringing awareness to the temptation, you create a space to choose differently. This practice isn't just about willpower, it's about self-awareness. When we understand why we're drawn to certain temptations, whether it's the desire for instant gratification, the fear of failure, or simply the comfort of familiarity, we can address the root cause rather than just the surface behavior. For instance, if you find yourself constantly reaching for unhealthy snacks, the Stoic approach would encourage you to explore what's driving that habit. Are you eating out of boredom, stress, or a lack of preparation? By identifying the underlying motivation, you can create strategies to address it, like keeping healthier options on hand or finding alternative ways to cope with stress. So, what temptations most often derail your progress? Is it the lure of social media when you should be working, the urge to overspend when you're saving for a goal, or perhaps the temptation to skip a workout when you're feeling tired? Take a moment to reflect on the patterns that pull you away from what truly matters. Once you've identified them, ask yourself, what would it look like to resist this temptation, even just this once? Each time you do, you're not just overcoming a momentary challenge, you're building the mental muscle to stay committed to your long-term vision. The Stoics believed that every temptation is an opportunity to practice virtue, whether it's self-discipline, courage, or wisdom. By facing these moments with intention, we don't just strengthen our ability to delay gratification, we also deepen our understanding of ourselves. Temptation, in this sense, isn't the enemy, it's the teacher. It shows us where we're vulnerable, where we need to grow, and where we have the power to choose a different path. So, the next time you feel the pull of temptation, remember Marcus Aurelius's words, the power lies not in the outside event but in your mind. And with that power, you can choose to stay true to what truly matters. There's a Stoic practice that might sound a bit unsettling at first, but it's one of the most powerful tools for staying focused on what truly matters. It's called Memento Mori, a Latin phrase that translates to "remember you must die." At first glance, the idea of reflecting on death might seem morbid or even counterproductive, but the Stoics saw it as a profound motivator for living with purpose. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, captured this idea beautifully when he said, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life." What he's pointing to isn't fear or despair, but clarity, a reminder that our time here is limited, and every moment is an opportunity to act with intention. The practice of Memento Mori isn't about dwelling on the inevitability of death. It's about using that awareness to sharpen our focus. When we recognize that life is finite, we're less likely to waste time on distractions or trivial pursuits. Suddenly, the things we've been putting off, the passion project we've been meaning to start, the meaningful conversation we've been avoiding, the goal we've been procrastinating on become urgent. It's as if we're handed a stopwatch and the ticking reminds us to make every second count. Let's bring this into a practical context. Imagine you've always wanted to write a book, but you keep telling yourself, "I'll get to it someday." That someday can stretch on indefinitely unless we confront the reality that our time isn't infinite. Reflecting on mortality doesn't mean you rush through the process or panic about deadlines. It means you approach the task with a sense of purpose. You start asking, if I knew my time was limited, would I keep putting this off, or would I start today, even if it's just a single page? This shift in perspective transforms procrastination into action and hesitation into determination. The beauty of Memento Mori is that it doesn't just apply to grand ambitions, it works in everyday moments too. Maybe it's the decision to spend quality time with a loved one instead of scrolling through your phone, or the choice to tackle a challenging task at work rather than pushing it aside. When we remember that our time is finite, we start making choices that align with our deeper values rather than defaulting to what's easiest or most convenient. So, how can reflecting on the finite nature of life help you focus on what truly matters? Take a moment to consider the goals or relationships you've been neglecting. What would it look like to approach them with the urgency and intention that Memento Mori inspires? It's not about living in fear of the end, but about embracing the present with gratitude and purpose. When we remember that our time is limited, we stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating meaningful moments right now. In the end, Memento Mori is a call to live fully, not just in the big, dramatic moments, but in the small, everyday ones. It's a reminder that life's brevity isn't something to fear, it's what gives our actions meaning. By embracing this practice, we don't just honor the Stoic tradition, we honor the gift of our own lives, choosing to spend our time on what truly matters, one intentional moment at a time. Success, it's a word that often conjures images of wealth, status, and accolades, external markers that society tells us to chase. But what if true success isn't about what we achieve on the outside, but about who we become on the inside? Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, offers a profound perspective. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. At its core, this statement challenges the way we often measure success, inviting us to shift our focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. The Stoic view of success isn't about rejecting ambition or achievement. It's about redefining what those things mean. Instead of tying success to material wealth or societal recognition, the Stoics believed it should be rooted in virtue qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These aren't just lofty ideals, they're practical benchmarks for living a meaningful life. When we align success with virtue, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of wanting more and start finding satisfaction in who we are and how we live. Consider this example. Imagine two people. One has a high-paying job, a luxury car, and a sprawling home, but feels unfulfilled, constantly chasing the next promotion or purchase to fill a void. The other lives modestly, prioritizes personal growth, and finds joy in simple, meaningful experiences. Who is truly successful? The Stoics would argue that it's not about the external trappings, but the internal state. Success, in their view, is about cultivating a sense of peace, purpose, and alignment with your values, regardless of what you own or how others perceive you. This shift in perspective has a direct connection to delayed gratification. When we define success internally, we're less likely to be swayed by short-term temptations or distractions. For instance, if your idea of success is rooted in personal growth, you're more likely to invest time in learning, reflecting, and building skills, even when the rewards aren't immediate. On the other hand, if success is tied to external markers, like earning a certain salary or impressing others, you might find yourself chasing quick wins or making choices that don't align with your long-term well-being. So, how do you define success? Take a moment to reflect on your own goals and aspirations. Are they driven by external validation, or do they resonate with your deeper values? The Stoic approach invites us to consider whether our definition of success supports our long-term vision or pulls us away from it. By aligning success with virtue and self-mastery, we not only stay committed to delayed gratification, but also create a life that feels genuinely fulfilling. Success, in the Stoic sense, isn't something you achieve once and for all. It's a continuous practice of living in alignment with your highest principles. It's about making choices that reflect who you want to be, even when the rewards aren't immediate or obvious. As you reflect on your own journey, ask yourself, what does success mean to me, and does it align with what truly matters? The answer might just be the key to unlocking a more meaningful, resilient, and purposeful life. Reflection is the mirror through which we see not just where we've been, but where we're headed. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This poetic yet practical observation underscores the power of introspection, a practice that allows us to shape our mindset and stay aligned with our long-term goals. In the fast-paced rhythm of modern life, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, losing sight of what truly matters. But when we pause to reflect, we create a space to reassess, recalibrate, and realign with our deepest intentions. Regular reflection isn't just about looking back, it's about moving forward with clarity. Imagine you're navigating a winding road without a map. You might make progress, but without checking your bearings, you risk veering off course. Reflection serves as that map, helping us track our progress, celebrate our wins, and learn from our setbacks. It's a way of saying, am I still on the path I set out for myself? If not, what adjustments do I need to make? Take, for example, the practice of weekly goal reviews. At the end of each week, you might sit down with a notebook and ask yourself a few key questions. What went well this week? What challenges did I face? Did my actions align with my long-term vision? This simple habit not only keeps you accountable, but also helps you spot patterns, whether it's recurring distractions, areas where you're thriving, or opportunities for growth. Over time, these reflections become a roadmap, guiding you toward your goals with greater precision and purpose. Reflection also plays a crucial role in managing setbacks. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to fall into frustration or self-doubt. But by reflecting on what happened, you can extract valuable lessons from the experience. Maybe you realize that a particular approach isn't working, or perhaps you discover a hidden strength you didn't know you had. These insights don't just help you recover from setbacks, they equip you to handle future challenges with greater resilience. So, how can regular reflection help you stay committed to your long-term vision? Think about the areas of your life where you're striving for growth or facing obstacles. What would it look like to carve out even a few minutes each day or week to reflect on your progress? It doesn't have to be a formal process, just a quiet moment to ask yourself, am I moving closer to what truly matters? By making reflection a habit, you're not just tracking your journey, you're actively shaping it one thoughtful step at a time. In the end, reflection is more than just a tool for self-improvement, it's a way of honoring your journey. It reminds us that growth isn't linear, it's a process of continuous learning and adaptation. By embracing this practice, you're not just staying committed to your goals, you're cultivating a deeper understanding of yourself and the path you're on. So, as you move forward, take a moment to look inward. The answers you find might just be the key to staying grounded, focused, and true to what truly matters. Change is one of the few constants in life, yet it's something many of us resist, often without even realizing it. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, offers a refreshing perspective on this universal truth. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. At its core, this statement reminds us that change isn't something to fear or avoid. It's an inherent part of growth. The Stoics saw change not as a disruption, but as an opportunity, a chance to adapt, evolve, and realign with what truly matters. At first, the idea of embracing change might feel counterintuitive. After all, our brains are wired to seek stability and predictability. But the Stoic approach challenges us to shift our mindset, seeing change as a natural and even necessary part of the human experience. Think of it like this: just as the seasons transition from summer to autumn, bringing new colors and possibilities, life's changes, whether expected or unexpected, can open doors to new opportunities. The key is to approach them with curiosity and resilience rather than resistance. Consider the example of a career shift. Imagine you've spent years in a role that no longer aligns with your passions or values. The thought of starting over might feel daunting, even paralyzing. But what if, instead of focusing on what you're leaving behind, you focused on what lies ahead? The Stoics would encourage you to see this transition not as a loss, but as a chance to grow. Maybe it's an opportunity to develop new skills, explore a different industry, or even redefine what success means to you. By embracing the change, you're not just adapting to circumstances, you're actively shaping your future. This mindset isn't just about career shifts, it applies to all areas of life. Whether it's a relationship ending, a move to a new city, or even a shift in your daily routine, change invites us to reassess, recalibrate, and realign with our long-term goals. It's a reminder that life is fluid, and our ability to adapt is one of our greatest strengths. So, how can embracing change help you achieve your long-term goals? Take a moment to reflect on the changes you've experienced or are currently facing. Are there ways you can approach them with curiosity rather than fear? Perhaps it's a chance to let go of what no longer serves you, or an opportunity to explore a new path you hadn't considered before. By viewing change as a natural and even necessary part of the journey, you not only build resilience but also create space for growth and possibility. In the end, the Stoic approach to change is about finding freedom in flexibility. It's about recognizing that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. And when we respond with openness and adaptability, we transform change from a source of uncertainty into a powerful tool for progress. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, ask yourself, how can I use this change to move closer to what truly matters? The answer might just be the key to unlocking your next chapter. As we bring this exploration of Stoic wisdom to a close, let's take a moment to revisit the timeless principles that form the foundation of mastering delayed gratification. Self-discipline, resilience, mindfulness, these aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools that can transform how we approach challenges, setbacks, and even everyday decisions. Together, they create a blueprint for achieving long-term goals, helping us stay focused on what truly matters, even when the path feels long or uncertain. Self-discipline teaches us to choose what aligns with our values over what feels easiest in the moment. It's the quiet strength that keeps us moving forward, turning fleeting intentions into lasting progress. Resilience reminds us that setbacks aren't roadblocks, they're opportunities to grow stronger and more adaptable. And mindfulness anchors us in the present, giving us the clarity to make intentional choices rather than reacting impulsively to distractions or temptations. These principles don't just help us delay gratification, they help us live with purpose. They remind us that true fulfillment comes not from chasing quick wins or external validation, but from aligning our actions with our deepest values. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This simple yet profound idea underscores the power of our mindset. When we cultivate thoughts rooted in self-discipline, resilience, and mindfulness, we create a life that feels not only successful but deeply meaningful. So, how can you apply these principles in your own life? Take a moment to reflect on the areas where you're striving for growth or facing challenges. Are there ways you can practice greater self-discipline, perhaps by setting small, consistent goals? Could you embrace resilience by reframing setbacks as opportunities to learn and adapt? And how might mindfulness help you stay present and intentional, even when distractions pull at your attention? The Stoic path isn't about perfection or rigid control, it's about progress. It's about showing up day after day and choosing to live with purpose even when the journey feels difficult. By embracing these principles, you're not just mastering delayed gratification, you're creating a life that reflects your highest values and aspirations. If this exploration of Stoic wisdom resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments how you plan to apply these principles in your own life, or let us know which Stoic ideas have made the biggest impact on you. And if you're eager to dive deeper into these timeless teachings, don't forget to subscribe for more insights and practical strategies. Together, let's continue this journey of growth, resilience, and purpose, one thoughtful step at a time.